Hey everyone, Mike here in the BFH garage, and I'm going to do a tool review. I've done a few of those in the past, and when I find a good tool that is absolutely worthy of it, I'm going to do a review on it. The reason this came up was we were doing Matt's LJ mid-arm install, and on his rear axle we had to put some flares on some brake lines to make it work. Well, those OEM lines are pretty darn tough. They're plastic coated, and we were on the struggle bus like nobody's business. And the reason for that was we're using an inferior kit. Similar to this one, he had a different version, but same concept. I got this one from Napa years ago, and it worked okay for what I needed back then, but on this one here, it doesn't even come close to making that work. Very time consuming and very inconsistent with the flares you get. So our other buddy Josh, he had a different flaring tool. When he came back the second day, he brought his flaring tool over. Now, I'm going to be clear, the price point difference between these is about $100, and all I can say is it's worth its weight in gold. Absolutely worth it. The tool I'm going to review today is going to be the K-Tool International. It's a brake pipe flaring tool. The part number KTI-70081. Sorry about that. And I'm going to show you all about it right now. The first thing I'm going to do is quickly show you how the old style tool works, or I'm going to call it the cheap tool, how this thing works. First of all, when you get your tubing, and this goes for both of them, when you cut your tubing off, whether you're using a grinder or a tubing cutter, make sure you ream out that inside hole. Here's a picture showing you the difference. So make sure you get that reamed out. So this is 3/16 of an inch tubing. So I'm going to put it in the top slot here, which is marked 3/16. Now what this tool has you do is you take the bubble fitting right here, you set it to the tubing, and you back the tubing up until it is flush with that bubble. Once you do that, you're supposed to lock this down pretty tight. Now the problem you got to be careful of with this, you see how much movement there is with this? When you go to tighten this thing down, you want to make sure that these are flat to each other and that your tubing is sticking out far enough. In this case here, I'm going to get it set, start to cinch that down, and then I'm going to take my wrench and make sure that these are flat against each other. See, that one wasn't. So that was one of the struggles I was having with mine, is that I didn't have that completely flat. Now I'm going to verify that that's where it needs to be, and we're there. So I'm going to now tighten this up per the directions. One of the problems you're going to face is if you over tighten it, you're going to damage that copper line. So just get it snug enough to hold it in place. Then you're going to take your bubble flare adapter, put that there. Then you have to take your little press. You're going to take it, put it up here, set it onto, there's a little dimple on the flaring bit there. And then you're going to continually tighten this down until it bottoms out. Now, with both tools and every tool, they always ask you to use lubrication on that, so make sure you take that into consideration. So this one here, I'm going to tighten it down until it bottoms out, which you did right there. Now I'm going to back it off. I'm going to remove the bubble flare piece. Now you're supposed to come in over the top and put your 45-degree angle onto it. So as I slowly tighten this up, you're going to feel it kind of bottom out, right about there. One of the problems we were facing is we were over tightening this, and it was kind of smearing that flare, and it was just very, very frustrating, to say the least. So once you get that done, your flare is complete. You can just loosen up the tool, and then this is what you get for your flare. Now, certainly this will work in some sort of emergency situation. That works. You're going to be amazed by the next tool. So this kit comes with several die. Here's one that is marked 3/16 is the one we're going to use, marked 3/16. It'll give us our 45. The other one is a 4.75 millimeter for the DIN, but it's also 3/16. But the flare you're doing, you want to be on that side. So we are going with the 45. If you notice the die only go one way, you see the two bumps there. You can't mix and match them. They only go one way. So we're going to set the bottom die in there. I'm going to grab a sample piece of brake tubing here. I'm going to set it in there. And I'm going to put this over. I'm going to push the locking pin there, but I'm not going to tighten it just yet. So I'm going to take the flat part I was showing you there. I'm going to move it this way. I'm going to push the tube through, and then all you do is you take the handle until it stops. Make sure your tube's in all the way. You're going to snug this up just till it's snug, and it's not going to move. Now everything happens from here. I don't have to readjust anything or do anything else to move this. So I'm going to go to the 3/16 setting. I'm going to pull until it stops. Boom. Go over to the second 3/16 on the orange. That's going to create my 45 now. Pull it over and boom, just like that. That's all there's to it. I'm going to loosen this up, pull this tab, unlock, pull that over, pull the die out, and I have a perfectly made flare. Look at this thing. It is a thing of beauty for sure. Nice, clean, very consistent flare. When you compare it to this other flare by the last tool I used, you can clearly see the differences there. Look inside there. This one is a far superior flare. Now I'm going to do it full speed so you can see how quick this thing is. All right, that does it for this video. If you are looking for a tool that is going to give you good, clean, consistent brake line flares every single time, I cannot recommend this tool enough. This thing is awesome. A little more on the expensive side, but it's worth it if you're looking for that in your brake line. So hope you enjoyed this video. We'll see you again next time.